From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your evening update.
Dennis's Heating and Air Conditioning is Northern California's premier heating and air conditioning contractor. From residential housing, large commercial projects, installation to repair, sheet metal fabrication, and everything in between, we are your go-to heating and air conditioning specialist.
Well, good evening, everyone. We saw some pretty dense fog out there this morning in parts of Northern California, in particular northern Siskiyou County, and even parts of Modoc County saw some of that dense fog as well. Now, there was some patchy fog in parts of the northern Sacramento Valley. There was also some patchy fog in many of the inland and mountain valleys as well. We could see a repeat of that again here for tomorrow morning, although it may not be as bad in some of the areas where they have been dense. But don't be surprised if on your morning commute, anywhere you are, you run into some patchy fog. And in particular, for the mountain valleys, inland valleys, and parts of, say, Siskiyou and even into Modoc County. And mainly along the Sacramento River, in the Sacramento Valley. But I do expect to see mainly dry conditions at least through Christmas. And I say mainly dry because tomorrow there may be a slight chance for a few showers for parts of the coast, and even into, say, places like Siskiyou County and maybe even Modoc County as well. But I would say this, that for tomorrow, it'll be more dry than it will be wet. So I wouldn't cancel any outdoor plans. Now, the best chance for wet weather for everyone will probably be somewhere around the middle of next week. And quite honestly, the overall intensity of that rain coming through next week doesn't look all that impressive to me. I mean, we'll see. But I haven't seen anything that's really just eye-opening when I take a look at what we've got going on for next week. And we'll take a look at that here in just a second. All right, let's take you through early tomorrow morning to around the mid-morning hours. They're the overcast skies for the coast. And again, we could see a stray shower, but it's not going to be much. So probably just kind of one of those drizzly type of mornings. Taking you to the inland areas, could see some of that fog, overcast skies, and again, maybe some stray light showers there as well. And that may even make its way into Trinity County as well. We take a look at your North State forecast here for the valley. Yeah, mainly sunny skies. Again, we could see some of that patchy morning fog, especially near the Sacramento River, but otherwise mainly sunny skies. Could see some of that fog in parts of Siskiyou County. And otherwise, we're looking at partly cloudy skies. See the little raindrops falling from the sky there. That's that slight chance for a few showers even making their way into Siskiyou County as well. Now we take a look at the eastern mountains, most likely looking at dry conditions there, but still most likely seeing some of that fog, especially for many of those mountain valleys. So there's the area of low pressure that brought us to wet weather a few days ago. It's now moving into Southern California. That's where they're dealing with that rainfall. That will be pushing eastward into Arizona and New Mexico. In the meantime, we go into the noon hour tomorrow. You see what's going on here? Most of it's up to our north into parts of, Oregon and even Washington, but it's just barely clipping Northern California. So, it's one of those situations where it's just too close for comfort. And I've got to at least let you know that if you live on the coast, if you live in Siskiyou or Modoc County, don't be surprised if you get caught under a very brief light shower or some drizzle. But that's most likely the extent of it. Everywhere else, it will be dry. That'll be the case through the weekend and even for your Christmas Day. Take a look at Monday. This is Christmas Day. You see where the main band of rain is? Way off for a west. This model has been fairly consistent with that. And I'm beginning to see the European forecast model kind of come into line with this as well. All right, so now we take into Tuesday, it's dry. Taking you into Wednesday, now we take you into Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening. Now we're starting to see some of that wet weather. Now, this could be fairly impressive amounts of rainfall. Only time will tell at this point, but I'm not terribly impressed with this storm system. Then we go into Thursday, Friday. Look at this, it's dry Thursday. Look at Friday. That storm system just barely approaching the coast. So really, it's looking like, at least for next week, Wednesday, that's the best chance for rain. Then maybe sometime toward the end of next week into that next weekend, we can see that system come in. And what you'll notice is the setup here. You see, if you look off in the Pacific, and even behind me here, we've kind of got one system after another that's approaching. So we are expected to see some rain come in off and on over the coming weeks toward the end of this month and even into the beginning of January. But at this point, again, I'm just not seeing anything that just screams tons of rainfall or screams tons of snow. But again, only time will tell, and we'll have to kind of wait and see as we start getting ourselves into next week and through next week. In fact, we look at the precipitation outlook toward the end of this month, and there was some darker green in here. That has been taken out. Now, what that means is the darker green is, the darker the shade of green is, the better the chance of seeing at least rainfall, right? Now, we are seeing that for all of California, and in particular, the main bullseye is kind of just to our south, and especially kind of over the Bay Area. But you get the idea here. We do have some wet weather in the forecast, but as I've mentioned, I'm just not terribly impressed with what I'm seeing at this point. Looks like temperatures are not going to be too terribly cold out there, and decent chances of seeing above normal temperatures here toward the end of the month. All right, let's take a look at the winds. I wanted to show you the winds here. Actually, when I was doing my Coffee with Kruger, someone had asked, it's a morning show that I do, it's live, and if you want to check it out, it's on Roku, Amazon Fire Stick. I do it at 6:30 in the morning, so be sure to check that out. You can also check it out on Facebook, on Twitter, and also on YouTube. You can catch it on your app and also at weathernorcal.com. All right, enough of that. Let's talk about the winds, because someone had asked me about the winds, and I'm not terribly concerned about the winds right now. In fact, we go through the day tomorrow, and yeah, it's a little breezy in some spots here, but we're talking maybe a little over 10 miles per hour, nothing major. But I'm going to see those winds, looks like we're starting to see those winds elevate a little bit here as we go into late Friday night, early Saturday morning. So this is midnight, Friday night into Saturday morning. You see how we're kind of getting in that 15 to even upwards of 20 mile an hour range. So we may see winds get a little gusty overnight Friday into early Saturday morning. You see how they start to subside here by 6 a.m. on Saturday, and then by noon on Saturday, the winds are certainly much calmer. So again, just to kind of let you know that the winds may pick up a little bit here as we go into late Friday night, early Saturday morning, but no major wind event. The wave heights are expected to increase, though, as we do go into Friday afternoon. Now, I'm going to take you on into your Saturday afternoon. I'm not seeing much change here, so it looks like they'll stay high, anywhere from about 12 to even upwards of 13 feet. Here's a look at your marine forecast for your Friday. North winds will be on the increase, by the way. They'll be increasing through the day from the north at about 15 to 25 miles per hour as they peak at that point. There you can see your waves from the north at 5 feet at about 5 seconds, and from the northwest at 5 feet at 12 seconds, and there are no alerts, at least at this point. That may change as we go into tomorrow. Temperatures tonight, upper 30s to low 40s, is cooling off. We could see some patchy fog for parts of the valley, getting pretty cold in the eastern mountains as well, probably somewhere in the 20s and low 30s. That's also the case for Siskiyou County. Notice we're seeing those chances for fog, again, for many of the higher elevations. We could see some of this fog, by the way, even for portions of Modoc County as well. Let's take a look at our forecast for tomorrow. Plenty of sunshine. Temperature is actually dropping a little bit from what we saw today, but we'll keep it somewhere in the low to maybe even some mid-60s for the valley. I think we'll mainly be in the 40s for the eastern mountains, and it looks like 40s and some 50s here, basically 45 to 50 for Siskiyou and into Modoc County as well. How about Trinity County? Low 50s there. That's also the case for the inland areas, and mid to maybe even some close to some upper 50s here out along the coast. So your 7-day outlook, yeah, there it is. You can see your Christmas forecast is looking pretty dry. Now, I have included a slight chance, but as I mentioned, for tomorrow, it's going to be more dry than it will be wet. Don't cancel any outdoor plans. If you see a stray sprinkle or a light shower in El Tourist or Mount Shasta City, don't be surprised, especially as you head north into places like, say, Wairika. Fort Bidwell, for example, may see a stray sprinkle or a light shower. But then it's dry for the weekend, dry for Christmas Day, and even the day after Christmas, with maybe a chance for showers again by next Wednesday. Now, snow levels with next week's rain may be a bit lower than what we saw this week, but still not terribly low. At its lowest, about 4,000 to even upwards of about 5,000 feet. Here's your 7-day outlook for the valley. It is dry for tomorrow all the way through next Tuesday. Then by Wednesday, there's that chance for showers, drying out once again for next Thursday. And your 7-day outlook for the North Coast. There you can see on Friday the chance for showers. Now, there are some indications with some of the long-range forecast models that we may see a slight chance on Sunday. Quite honestly, as you wake up tomorrow morning and watch the forecast, I may have that chance out on Sunday. That's kind of the intensity of it, right? It's just not a very big deal. Christmas Day is dry, so is Tuesday. And there, of course, is that chance for showers by next Wednesday, drying out once again by next Thursday.